Hello there, villagers, and welcome back to another video here in Stacy's Random POV. If it's your first time here, it is so good to have you. I hope you decide to stay. Now, I have to say that the reason why I'm here in your face is because we have to talk about everything that's happened with Luigi in his arrest. So this is the update. As you guys know, he have been moved to New York from Pennsylvania. I don't know if you guys remember the news reporter who was outside of the prison asking the prisoners what they thought, if they should or if he should or should not get transferred here to New York. And
this was just from a few hours ago, and here they are, 10 o'clock as promised. They said earlier today, tell Ashley Banfield that Luigi is watching at 10 o'clock. I mean, obviously, you know, that's just a hard roast at this point because they're not near Luigi in any way.
Can I just ask the guys, if they can hear me right now, to answer yes or no very loud. Does Luigi have television in his single cell?
No.
Unreal. They said no, right? Obviously,
They
we
said
have a little
no.
bit of a
He
delay,
doesn't
but
have
they're
a TV,
getting.
and that's-
Yeah, they're getting the questions, and they're giving us the
They're
answers. So
getting
Luigi
it.
does not have. Wow, this is quite something. This is the strangest interview I've ever conducted.
Me too, Ashley. You know, according to the Department of Corrections, he's got his own solitary cell. It's not solitary confinement, but he's by himself. It's not dorm style. I'm not sure exactly what those guys got going on in terms of a living situation. It sounds like they're all clustered together. Isn't it interesting to see what accommodations that they have? They got their own light switches. They're obviously watching TV
They're all doing
past
it.
any sort of 10 o'clock curfew, you know. Yep, they're
Oh my
doing this for
gosh,
you.
look at
They're
this,
watching
Alex.
News Nation at this very moment.
and they all said he should because that prison was worse. I don't know why they think the ones here in New York is better, but whatever floats their boat. Now, what is happening? He's now here in New York. While he was being transported, it was a bunch of people who were so excited to see him, and there was a lot of people recording, but apparently it was only about 4 or 5 protesters. Don't worry, all of that video is coming along, so you stick around. So everything is a hot mess right now. It's looking like there's gonna be a government shutdown. Elon Musk is acting cuckoo bananas. They haven't even started the presidency, but it seems like he got some interesting pointers that he wants to give. Also, stick around because I have another video coming along exclusively about Mama Musk. She must be musty. Nah, but in all actuality, I hope you guys decide to stay. Let me know what you guys think with all this mess. And yeah, without any further ado, you guys know how I like to do things here. You heard my opinion, so now I'm gonna play you some opinions of other creators, and let me know what you think down below. Do you think there's gonna be another revolution? What do you think is happening with this whole Luigi Mangione situation? Who do you think is being affected most in this Luigi Mangione situation? Are you ready to stand for your beliefs or for just chicken? I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. Don't forget, once you subscribe, you automatically become a member of this village. And baby, you love this village. You appreciate this village because it takes a village. See you guys next time. Bye.
I hope we're all realizing how many young, disenfranchised, like white men, namely, are having a cultural reset because of Luigi right now. Because like, imagine some of these people would carry out their actions in churches, at schools, and public places, and they see that this person is actually so beloved for going to the source of the angst and anxiety and being beloved, right? And like the whole society is like basically applauding you. And it's like, if you're gonna go down anyways in history as something which I think a lot of these people want to go down as, why not go down as like a sort of martyr of the public? This is like a cultural reset, and I haven't heard anyone say this yet. I've heard people allude to it. I think everyone's kind of afraid to say it. Also, imagine being like sort of an elite person, or whoever these rich that we're allegedly gonna eat. I won't be eating rotting flesh. Like, imagine how scary it is to realize that all of those like white boys that you try to radicalize, they actually are armed, some of them. Also, 3D gun printing is something we should discuss. I was aware that it happened, but this is another, whoa. It's one of these things that you can't go back. This is the world we live in. This is the world we have allowed. Like, hey, those people that you try to constantly pit against minorities, they're actually thinking about you now. This is very scary for them. This is terrifying. And I think this is the reason that the news is behaving in such a fraudulent manner. I've also realized this week that the news is definitely our enemy. Like I would have been, what's the word? Reticent? That's not the right word. Reluctant to say that prior to this week, but it's so very obvious that a lot of people are in the comments of these mainstream media outlets videos here on TikTok being like, how's the media so out of touch? They're not out of touch. They're purposefully trying to construct a reality around there, and they're trying to reinforce this reality that it's bad to wish that a person who does harm to millions of people is injured. You know, like they want to uphold this crazy narrative that keeps this whole society together. Also, it's their business to make money, right? It's supposed to be, right? But you realize it's their business to inform us in the way that exactly their donators or their patrons want them to do. If they are the maintenance of our oppression, you know, they are the set design. They are not, in fact, there to give us information. They're there to control how we view information and to lay out specific narrative prescribed by the overlords. But yeah, you can go into like a public space and do something now that's horrifying, and everyone will hate you, and you know your life will be taken before you even go to jail. Or you can be seen as like a hot stud to the entire society and possibly get off from the jury even because you're so beloved. But as much as I'm not really celebrating all of this happening, really, I'm not upset about it. I also don't even know if this is a real person. Either way, whoever constructed all of this, because this could also totally be like some kind of weird CIA thing. I don't know. I know that sounds crazy at this point. Is it crazy? Yeah, that's a big deal to have done that. And whoever set up this narrative, if it is Luigi himself, because he has the law enforcement in the catch-22. If anything happens to him, he will be even further martyred. Like there's a lot of in and out here. But to me, that's the most important takeaway. It's like, this is a reset. This sends people who are lone wolves in like another direction. And I actually think those types of other attacks that were happening will be a thing of days bygone because the wake up's happening.
There's an agenda to make sure there are no black idols or heroes.
So you're telling me that there's aliens in the ocean, there are drones and orbs and plasmoids flying around all over the place. Israel and Palestine are still at war. Russia and Ukraine are still at war. Somebody tried to overthrow the Korean government. The French government has collapsed. The German government has collapsed. The American people as a whole have chosen a felon, liar, grifter, rapist to run our country, and we get to watch in real time as he systematically strips away our rights and dismantles our democracy and turns it into an oligarchy. The murder of a billionaire CEO who is responsible for the death of millions of people sparks more outrage than the mass unaliving of school children in our country. The Pope is going to perform some ancient forbidden ritual that has never been done before on Christmas Eve in the catacombs of the Vatican and live stream it from Lucifer's tomb, not to mention some rogue planet entering our solar system and AI confirming the existence of parallel dimensions, which is actually the most believable thing that I have heard lately, because I feel like I'm living in a parallel dimension. Like, I don't believe in hell, but if that place exists, we're already in it. And the threat of World War III. And I'm supposed to do what? Go to work, come home, cook dinner, pay bills, pretend like nothing's happening, nothing to see here. I don't think so. I think we're screwed. I don't know about you, but I'm tired. I need a nap.
Luigi, get your ass up, man. It's time for court.
Okay.
Whoa! What the hell are you doing?
I'll go into court?
You can't go to court looking like that.
What's wrong with how I look?
Just come here for a second. Okay, let me just blend that up right there. Hold up. Yeah, okay. Okay, you see now. Now you're ready to go to court. Okay, let's go. You fucking disgust me. You know that? Like, I can't believe I have to walk on this earth with filth like you walking around.
Did you just take a picture of me?
No.
Yeah, you did. You just did it again. You just took a picture of
I
me.
need to get some pictures for you.
Are these mugshots or a photo shoot?
You know, you're good at this. Have you done this before? Hold on, let's get one together. You kind of outshine me a little bit. You know that? Like, I don't know how you feel good looking better than me in a picture. You know, I'm gonna beat your ass later, just because of that.
We have some huge breaking news right now. The government shutdown is well on its way as a bill proposed by Elon Musk and Mike Johnson has officially failed the House of Representatives, with both Republicans and Democrats voting against the bill. We are now just hours away from a government shutdown that will make it harder to travel, that will furlough thousands of federal employees, and put your benefits on the chopping block for a period of time. The bill proposed by Elon Musk and Mike Johnson cut a number of critical programs in the original negotiated bill between Republicans and Democrats and needed a 2/3 majority in the House to pass, while more than 30 Republicans even voted against this Musk-Johnson bill. Folks, we have President Musk right now. It's not even Donald Trump anymore. President Musk is negotiating actively to try to keep the government open, but by doing so, he is actively failing the American public. The government will shut down in just about 24 hours, tomorrow at midnight, if no deal is reached. And we are moving very, very close towards it. Comment below your thoughts, spread the word, and follow along to stay up to date on all the news you need to know about Mordecai.
This is him, Your Honor. The murderer now known as the Adjuster. The murderer of the CEO of United Health. Must be charged with forgery, possession of a firearm, providing false identification to the police. Murder! What's the verdict, Your Honor? He has great eyes.
What? Congratulations, NYPD and FBI and all you stupid fucks in New York City. You think you were gonna make it worse for him by giving him a terrorist charge? You gave him a picture worthy of a Zack Snyder cover for the next movie of the Avengers or Superman. He looks more badass now than ever. If you thought people already loved him, you ain't seen nothing yet with this one that you gave him. Look at that little treasure with all the cops holding AR-15, bro. That is the coldest shit I've ever seen. Look how badass he looks in that fucking picture. You old-ass police officers, you fucking boomers, don't seem to understand how the internet works. All this new generation of people think in terms of visual. Do you know how badass this looks? You don't seem to get it. You made it worse. People already liked him. Now they're really gonna fucking. This is gonna be a t-shirt. This is a Pulitzer Prize picture, bro. You made it worse. Good thing I'm with you.
If you've been paying any attention to the coverage of Luigi Mangione from corporate news sources like ABC, NBC, CNN, etc., then you probably noticed that there's a difference in the way they've been covering him now that he's in jail versus before they found him. I've worked in PR and media my whole career, so I advise you to pay attention to the framing of these stories, like how they're no longer covering public reaction to it, because they don't want you to know that there's support for what he did. And the most obvious example, which is that they stopped using the same photos from when they were searching for him because everybody thought he was hot, so now they're only showing us pictures from jail where he's urinated on himself to try to embarrass him and destroy his image. And think about how they're harping on his trust fund to break the class solidarity that they can see forming right now. I suggest just blocking those accounts since they're all corporate backed and will never give you the real story, and you're better off following more individuals and independent journalists. I'll list a suggestion or two below, and you guys should comment some people that you know so we can follow them, because this is the time we need to share information with each other and not rely on corporate backed media to tell us the truth.
Well, I thought I'd get on here real quick and give an update on the Luigi Mangione story. I was in court all morning. Wow, what a development. The federal government has charged him. Now he could face the death penalty. I kind of agree with his lawyer, Karen Friedman Manifalo, who said they're kind of piling it on. But federal government usually doesn't take a case unless they think it's strong. There's no double jeopardy here, in case anyone was wondering. The federal government is one sovereignty, the state of New York is another sovereignty. I thought they had the case a little overcharged on the first-degree murder. But now that the federal government has stuck their hands in it, he could have to face prosecution in both places. And sometimes the government overplays their hand. But the federal government very rarely gets involved in a case unless they think they can really win it. So there must be something here. I'm just going to say for right now, the price of poker went up. I'm trying to get the docket from the federal court. I'll update you when I do that.
Just a quick reminder that the United States of America called Nelson Mandela a terrorist.
So all of y'all saying, yeah, but he never killed a guy, he most certainly did. And you're proving the point. History has been wiped of the violence that he did because people ended up liking
Respectfully decline to make any comment at this time, but Mr. Mangione appreciates everyone's support. Thank you so much.
I'm not really sure what they were trying to accomplish with this like long drawn out perp walk with seemingly the entire NYPD, the mayor, federal officials, like all kinds of people, like 20, 30 people. And obviously they're trying to send some kind of message, right? That he's just like so dangerous, or that they're just gonna display so much force, or like whatever it is. But I don't think they did a good job of it at all. Like this excessive display, having this much security for when compared to people like the likes of, say, Timothy McVeigh, the man who perpetrated the Oklahoma City bombing, or this guy, Richard the Night Stalker Ramirez, who killed at least 14 people. They only had 1, 2, 3, 4 guys to secure Charles fucking Manson. Even El Chapo had less security. So this just looks performative. This just looks like they're trying to send us a message. Again, I'm not really clear on what the message is, but if you ask me, judging from what I've been hearing, people say about this, I don't think that they've accomplished anything other than making this guy seem pretty cool. Like, he looks like the hero in a movie in this photo. The protagonist, hero who sacrificed himself and his freedom, to uncover the atrocities and the oppression of the everyday man. Like, that's what this looks like. So again, I don't know what they were trying to accomplish, but I don't think they did it.
If you post something about Luigi and the FBI shows up at your door, ask them these 2 things. Do you have a warrant? If they do not answer clearly, yes, I plead the 5th and close the door on them. You are in your rights to not answer any questions from the police. If you're being interrogated by the police, say, I have a right to my representation by a lawyer and I plead the fifth, and do not give them anything. Anything, no matter what they say. No matter what they say about how they're gonna be nice to you, how they're gonna help you, how they're gonna actually not use this evidence against you, they are allowed to lie. I plead the fifth, I plead the fifth, I plead the fifth, I plead the fifth, till the cows come home.
So are they going to put Luigi in Brooklyn, or are they going to leave him in the city? Because I'm telling you, if they bring Luigi Mangione sexy ass down here to Brooklyn, New York, honey, I'm not getting up and going nowhere because I'm too old for all of that. But I know the girls is going to be out there talking about Luigi, we love you. And DLC is not prepared for that. Or are they going to take him to the island? I don't think they're going to take him to the island because they got Diddy on the island. And Diddy and Luigi is too much for Rikers to deal with. So I think they're going to take him to DOC in Brooklyn. We going to find out. Bensonhurst girlies, be on alert, because I know he either going to be, well, he ain't going to be in Bensonhurst because there ain't no DOC in Bensonhurst, but he going to be in Sunset Park. And you know, y'all can get from Bensonhurst to Sunset Park in 45 minutes. Because I want to turn on the news at 11 and I want to see a slew of white girls, okay, titty shaking in front of the camera talking about Luigi. I want to see this. Because it's only white people that can enjoy having like a murderer be part of your crew and celebrate it this way. It's only you guys. And so I have to live vicariously through you because, you know, if he looked like me, we'd be pum, pum, pum. We wouldn't be having this conversation.
I know they have to be so mad that this Luigi thing happened in New York City. Like, the powers that be have to be so mad that this happened in New York City. First of all, the lawyer problem. This attorney is really going to appeal to the public, which is not going to be good for the powers that be, right? Like, the last thing they need is the public also loving the defense attorney. Okay, that he's going to sway so much public opinion, and that is such a problem because he has so much character and he's smart and he's right in there. You can tell, right? Like, this is a New Yorker. Like, he's got the finesse. He's got the New York finesse. It's like that kind of personality that even those people that like hate New Yorkers, they see that kind of like old school New York personality and there's like a begrudging respect to it. Anyway, that's a big, but then also the jury's going to be a problem because of all the places I feel like this could have happened. New Yorkers are going to be much harder for the state to like manipulate and convince. I'm sure they'll work really hard to find the right jurors, but it's going to be so hard for them because I just feel like personally from the New Yorkers that I've known, they are a lot less likely to just willingly be like accept what they're told. Like, real New Yorkers seem to have like their own internal kind of system and code of ethics and knowledge, and they don't respect outside entities that then try to present a different reality because New Yorkers are like, no, I live this, no thank you. There's an awareness, I feel like, to New Yorkers that's gonna make the jury thing really hard for them. And there's just like so much extra, there's humor packed into this, there's character, there's personality, there's like all this old world kind of like silent immigrant sentiment, you know, like that's kind of working its way through, which I love to see. It's gonna be hard for them. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but I know that there's somebody behind the scenes for the prosecution who for sure is like, God damn it. God, why did this have to happen in New York?
Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. Intel has told us there are at least 7.
Okay, I already see one. Give me. Okay.
They're the same picture.
Y'all see what I see? Who gave Luigi the fade? What barber gave him the fade? Y'all, you know what? I'm done. I got, what?
And they celebrate whenever rich people are killed. And yes, that is twisted. And another reason people are celebrating is because they don't understand corporations. I stand by that. And I'm not saying that I support how every corporation is structured or how every corporation makes money. I'm saying that those decisions don't fall on the singular CEO. The CEO is not the only one profiting off of this. The CEO is not the only one making the decisions that drive that profit.
So then it sounds like more people need to be taking a stroll in New York City. Yeah? All kidding aside, we're not celebrating the fact that a rich person was killed. Like, me personally, I could care less if a person is rich. Hell, I would love to be rich one day. We all would. You see, when Jeffrey Dahmer had his skull bashed in prison, we celebrated. When Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy were executed, celebration. You see, not all serial killers wear glasses like this, have creepy porn stashes, and drive a van. You see, some serial killers don't even lay a finger on their victims to kill them. You see, some serial killers sit back and relax in some big fancy office, profiting off of our suffering from our family members dying. So perhaps if maybe we had free healthcare, or at least affordable healthcare, perhaps if less of us were dying of, chronic illnesses or the fact that we can't get surgeries, and people like this CEO who was gunned down actually pretended to even give a shit about us as people, maybe, just maybe, we would give a shit about them. But the truth of the matter is, and the Joker, from the movie Joker was right about this, basically. If we were lying in the street dying, these CEOs would just go, oops, sorry, bud, and walk right over us. Got to get to my big fancy board meeting so we can talk about how we can bump up the prices of life-saving medicines, or things like insulin. Or maybe they'll talk about how we're gonna not pay for all of the anesthesia during your surgery. Hey bud, wake up as we're sticking this scalpel into your chest. Maybe we as people would care more. But as it were, that's not the case, so we don't. Anyway. Basically, what I'm saying is people like this Brian Thompson, these healthcare folk, they're basically just serial killers in suits. Serial killers who make billions of dollars, sitting in some chair that probably cost them $13,000 because it's made of gold. So basically, if they're just going to walk over us as we're dying in the street, hypothetically, we're just going to walk over them. Ultimately, that's kind of what this is about, from my perspective. In terms of Luigi Mangione, well, as they also say, not all heroes wear capes.
Apparently, none of Luigi Mangione's family showed up in support of him during his court hearing, and that is just so confusing to me because his mom took the time to call and report him missing, but didn't take the time to go and show up for her son when she actually knew where he was. And maybe it's just because rich families are concerned with their legacy and don't want any black sheeps, and maybe they just didn't want to ruin their reputation. But it is still super messed up, and there was allegedly a Goodreads book on Luigi's profile that was about emotionally immature parents. So it's just sad because he probably felt like he was enough when he was valedictorian and went to these Ivy Leagues, and then as soon as he's in the dirt, he's not supported. Although I don't have children, I think that if my child was in court, I would show up to the hearing, even if it was for the alleged deleting of a CEO. It's just mind-boggling because Luigi's family is ginormous, like literally 30 plus cousins at least, and not one person showed up.
Oh, but don't you know he came from a really rich background? Oh, don't you know he had a $30 million trust fund? That's why he was able to do what he did. Haven't we been asking white, straight presenting, attractive, wealthy men to be stepping up to the plate? Hasn't been kind of this whole point? The whole point of the privilege discussion was to say that we should use it well and recognize and observe the harms that failing to do so does? Wasn't that the whole point? Wasn't the whole entire point not to expel people with privilege from this movement, but to say that they're expected to be included because they profited off the very systems that we're trying to fight, and so they have an obligation to fight against them? Every single effective organizer in person I've ever known knows this. Online discourse needs to catch up, or we will be pushing the people that have the highest social, political, or physical capital to do stuff out.
Luigi said, fuck that 30 million. That's crazy. Luigi's grandmother left 30 million to her family and her will, but she specified that anyone charged, indicted, convicted of, or plead guilty to a felony would be cut out the deal. They'd be cut slam out the 30 M's. Luigi said he had another plan, man. He had some other shit on his mind. His friends said he couldn't get off no more. Like, he couldn't have, you feel me? But with that 30 mil, don't it seem like motherfucker could have paid? I mean, he could have bought a whole nother damn.
Why would you live, laugh, love when you could deny, defend, depose? Like...
Now we know that Luigi is not the shooter for sure. Even beyond all the visible evidence, he doesn't look anything like the shooter. That's a totally different person. And bro wet his pants while he was in the back of the cop car. This is him standing in his cell. Like, bro is in shock to what's happening to him. This is the reaction of somebody who's scared for their life because they don't know what's happening to them. But if you guys don't already know, Luigi actually comes from an extremely wealthy family. And he was set to inherit millions of dollars. Up to like $100 million. And this is all from his grandparents' inheritance that he would receive. But Did you know that trustees can deny inheritance to felons? Meaning the people that are in charge of giving him his money once his grandparents pass away can say he's denied, like you can't get any money. All because he's a felon. I'm sorry, bro. I don't care how good of a person somebody might seem. They're not passing up $100 million inheritance. So he would have had to make the conscious decision to throw away his entire inheritance just to assassinate the CEO of this health insurance company. And bro, nobody's buying that.
Hot take, maybe we shouldn't be romanticizing a shooter.
Let's get loud for Kyle Rittenhouse.
Murder, assassination, vigilantism. It's wrong, it's evil, it's despicable. There's no hero. Murder, assassination, vigilantism. It's wrong, it's evil, it's despicable. There's no hero. Cheering for the murder of an unarmed man is beyond sick.
Wackos are treating suspected killer as a folk hero. Actual praise for the murder itself. To sympathize with them, it's just disgusting.
You know, they have a Bonnie and Clyde syndrome in the DSM-IV in psychiatric treatment, and that's when some people are enamored by criminals.
You don't have the right to go out and kill somebody and take, vigilante justice into your hands. So I think it's really disturbing to people across the country as they tune in and hear, people excited and saying there's joy from this. I think it's really concerning.
Cheering for the murder of an unarmed man is beyond sick.
For anyone that sympathizes and empathizes with a murderer, that is completely upside down in our American society. For anyone that sympathizes and empathizes with a murderer, that is completely upside down in our American society. There are people that need to reevaluate their inner soul and their moral compass. There is nothing acceptable to me about that.